With at least US $300 million projected to be had for the government's coffers from ExxonMobil's Liza 1 well during the first year's projection, Finance Minister Winston Jordan stated that there will be many expected improvements. This was disclosed today at a press briefing by Finance Minister Winston Jordan prior to the 98th sitting of the National Assembly. Senika Thorne has the details.
The minister was responding to a question raised at his press briefing at Parliament today about the expected revenues from initial first oil in 2020.
I'm saying what coming into the coffers, whether you want to call it gross net, what our share will be about 300 million annually for Liza 1 when it ramps up to 120,000. I forget what is the assumption of the oil price. But I know it's around 300. It probably will be a bit more with oil, about $70 a barrel or about now. So, but I would say for argument's sake around 300 million US.
The finance minister cautioned that the funds will be spent carefully and in accordance with proposed legislation intended to govern the use of the Sovereign Wealth Fund.
Remember, when this money comes, it goes into the Natural Resource Fund, or our Sovereign Wealth Fund, okay? So it is not available to the government yet. It will become available, some of it will become available based on the legislation when it's passed. And when that legislation is operationalized, then there are rules of withdrawal from the fund. So at no time will 300 million be available to the government for spending.
Guyana is projected first oil by 2020, and a substantial boost to the local economy is projected. According to the government, other areas of priority include infrastructural development and agricultural, housing and manufacturing sector.
Senika joins us again to tell us that the finance minister said the present state of Ghana's economy is proof that it was supported in part by the illegal narcotics trade. This came in response to previous statements made by the minister, where he expressed similar sentiments.
I will tell you this much. Where the economy is at today is proof positive that the economy was being run by drugs, by significant input from drugs.
Prior to his statement, the minister was asked by the Private Sector Commission and the Georgetown Chambers of Commerce last week to provide evidence of same. Reiterating that a significant section of the economy was supported by those in the illegal drug trade, Minister Jordan said, "Who the cap fits, let them wear it."
I never refer to Private Sector Commission. I never refer to GCCI. I never refer to GMSA. I never refer to any private sector organization. I refer to some in the private sector who benefited significantly from nefarious activities. Now, if, as Bob says, who the cap fits, that's fine. Because I was amazed, to be quite honest, when I got a letter from the gentleman asking me to provide proof in the private sector. I was amazed.
The capture and pending extradition to the United States of a popular local businessman and hoteler in Jamaica, according to official sources, is the tip of the iceberg, as more indictments are expected to follow soon. Since taking office, the Guyana Revenue Authority has pursued many errant taxpayers and is taking a closer look at many multi-million-dollar businesses who suddenly sprung up over the past decade. Senika Thorne, InfoHub.
The 98th sitting of the National Assembly is ongoing at Parliament buildings. For more information, go to our website at dpi.gov.gy. The historic activation of a children's court will see no juvenile being sentenced to imprisonment, says Minister of Public Security Kemraj Ramchatan. Isaiah Braffett was there and filed this report.
The children's court was opened this morning at the Georgetown Magistrate Court following the passing of the Juvenile Justice Bill back in April. Minister Ramchatan said in the bill there are measures in place to ensure that the court is a last resort for the child. However, Should a matter reach to the court, imprisonment for the juvenile is not an option.
We want to get away from imprisonment, so no child or juvenile is to be sentenced to imprisonment. Sentencing serves the purpose of holding juvenile accountable for the offense. What we are trying as best as possible to do is to ensure rehabilitation, education, and reintegration into society.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Bassey Williams noted that the manner in which we treat our weakest link is a direct reflection of who we are.
There is no more better way for a nation to demonstrate its respect for human dignity than by making appropriate provisions for the protection of its children and for securing their best interests. The establishment of this Children's Court manifests the importance which the Cooperative Republic of Guyana attaches to the principle of the, and I quote, best interests of the child.
Acting Chancellor Madam Justice Janet Cummins Edwards said that the state, being cognizant of the vulnerability of children, has a responsibility to care for them.
Our system envisages that children will be separate from adults. It will ensure that they are subject to meaningful consequences proportionate to the offense and the circumstances, recognizing the juvenile's greater dependency and reduced level of maturity. And it also provides procedural protection to ensure that juveniles are treated fairly and humanely and that their rights are respected and protected.
In 2019, 2 more children's courts are slated to be open, one in Berbice and the other in Essequibo. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
The Diabetic Care Project extended for another year and Tourism Awareness Month launched. These and more after the break.
It is important for me to vote. We have to choose people from our area. It is not for a one-party purpose. It's for everybody's benefit. I think it is important for everybody to come out and vote.
Welcome back. The Guyana Diabetic Care Project, initially slated to run from 2015 to 2018, has been extended to September 2019. Delicia Haynes now tells us that a 4th stakeholders meeting was convened today to review the project's performance.
Minister within the Ministry of Public Health, Dr. Karen Cummins, highlighted some of the program's successes since the last review in 2017.
More than 1,564 women have been screened, of which 373 were treated for gestational diabetes at Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. 63 outreaches were completed, and the cumulative data collected demonstrate that 1,861 patients were screened for type 2 diabetes, of which 312 patients were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes mellitus. Approximately 5,183 persons have been screened for diabetic retinopathy, and 1,808 have been diagnosed and treated to date.
The Guyana Diabetic Care Project is a multi-year approach formulated by the World Diabetes Foundation and other agencies in partnership with the Ministry of Public Health to reduce the burden of type 2 diabetes. This project builds on the successes of the Guyana Diabetes Foot Care Project and is the first phase of a national response to the high rates of non-communicable diseases.
Since its inception, the Guyana Diabetes Care Project has been making great progress in the treatment of diabetes in Guyana. However, in order to significantly build on the gains made thus far through the diligent work being done by the project, we at the Ministry of Public Health recognize that more needs to be done with the collective and collaborative involvement of all concerned stakeholders.
Minister Cummins noted that since the program is based at the Georgetown Public Hospital, the ministry hopes for the project to be extended beyond outreaches and be established regionally. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
Fresh vegetables, fruits and provisions straight from the farm will be available at the Farmers Market Day this Saturday at Durban Park. A variety of meats and agro-processed goods will also be available in addition to seedlings and ducklings. Special weekend getaway packages, restaurant week, and a number of other exciting activities are among those being offered by tourism stakeholders as the Guyana Tourism Authority, GTA, launches Tourism Awareness Month 2018. Crystal Stull brings us the details.
Unveiling the calendar of activities at the Duke Lodge Hotel, Director of GTA, Brian Mullis, said through partnership with the private sector bodies, the agency will provide economical means for locals and foreigners to explore Guyana.
So we've been working with the tourism private sector on yield management and other pricing strategies so that they can offer some specials. And these specials won't only be available during the month of November. Several of the packages will be available year-round, and as the number of participants on these packages increases, the price per participant decreases.
The GTA will also be launching a Why I Love Guyana campaign for local and foreigners to share their unique experiences at various hotspots. Minister of Business with Responsibility for Tourism, Dominic Gaskin, described this year's Tourism Awareness Month theme as fitting.
Most appropriate. I think the diversity that we want to celebrate, that we want visitors, we want to showcase to visitors, can be seen right here in this room. We are a diverse people with diverse cultures, diverse cuisine, diverse ethnicities, religions. In terms of sustainability, that is something that has to be managed and has to be promoted. Tourism is not automatically sustainable. Tourists are consumers, and if we want to really increase visitor arrivals and increase tourism in Guyana, we're looking at increasing consumerism in Guyana.
This year's Tourism Awareness Month is being celebrated under the theme Promoting Sustainability and Celebrating Diversity. Reporting for InfoHub, Crystal Stull.
The Mexican Embassy will dedicate its celebration of this year's Day of the Dead in honor of the eminent writers Sir Wilson Harris, Derek Walcott, Sir V.S. Naipaul, Sego Pitol, and Octavio Paz. All interested persons are invited to join in the annual pre-Hispanic tradition of Mexican cultural heritage and view the altar honoring these late authors from November 1 to 5 at the embassy located on Brick Dam. We remind you that diets high in non-starchy vegetables such as broccoli, spinach, and beans may help protect against certain types of cancers. That's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, social media, and our website at dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next.